Hi, come on, dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. Right.
Whoa, Spencer, we had to keep the people waiting because it's like we had Joe Gallagher on the phone. We might even call him back, because Joe's on the list and great guy, great trainer, and it's proven. The proof's in the pudding, and there's a lot to tonight's discussion. I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of people have been commenting on it, and there's so many opinions that we're not going to take no one for granted. But there's names of trainers who are not on the picture board, but absolutely will get a mention on this show tonight because it's an interactive show, and we want to hear the thoughts and opinions of everyone. So as Bobby Wright says, big up Bobby Wright. This is absolutely going to be a go on, say that, Spence.
He's a real one. He's a real one.
Come on, we all know this. We all know this, Mr. Big Bob style, Bobby Wright. So this is definitely going to be an interesting topic and discussion, and the fact that it's on a Sunday night when most people ain't really doing nothing and they can literally listen to the one and only Spencer, the Spirit, Master Knowledge. Take it away, Spence.
Yeah, mate. As we're touching on the great trainers currently, we cannot forget the great men of the past.
Oh, come on.
Right. Because if we did, then we'll be doing an injustice and an inservice to those great men that led the way.
Disservice, absolutely.
Right. Big, massive disservice. So if I was to turn around and say like my top 5 of all time greatest trainers,
yes,
it's a hard one. It's a difficult one. But as much as it's a hard one and a difficult one, I would have to put, in my mind, Eddie Futch up there.
Number 1. I don't business. It's got to be the number 1.
Yeah, I'd have to put
Eddie Futch. Yes.
Put Eddie Futch up there as number 1. Number 2, I would have Reynoso.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Right. This man trained Roberto Duran.
Yes.
This man trained the great Jack Kickberg, right? Who's one of the greatest British fighters of all time, who went out to America. I would say, what's that? Is that 3 I've gone already?
Yep. You said Futch, Arcel, and the one you're on now.
Then I would say Emmanuel Stewart, number 4, right?
Yes.
And maybe Emmanuel Stewart could be higher than that, but I'll say Emmanuel Stewart number 4.
Yes.
And then I'll say number 5, George Benton.
Brilliant.
Top 5.
Tell me something. That's your Spencer Fearon's top 5 old school trainers. I mean, as Norman Barton has said, this is such a subjective topic that, I mean, we could just go on and on. But me and you was discussing this afternoon when we was talking about the show. And I was saying to you that, well, you have to put Angelo Dundee in there. And my reason for putting Angelo Dundee in there is...
Oh, so you know what?
Come on.
That I didn't put Angelo Dundee in there, and this is no disrespect to Angelo Dundee. Yes, he trained Muhammad Ali.
For his whole career.
Yep. There was, except for one fight.
Yes, come on, the knowledge.
Right, and that was Ali's comeback fight in 1971 against Jimmy Ellis. And Jimmy Ellis and Ali, right, the signature, thank you very much for your donation.
Again, the signature, come on, big up. Signature yesterday as well. What day was it? Saturday or whatever. So signature, thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated.
And that was for Ali versus Jimmy Ellis. Jimmy Ellis and Ali grew up together in Louisville, Kentucky. Jimmy Ellis was the second man out of Louisville, Kentucky to become world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right. There were 3 men to ever do it. It was Ali was the first man to do it. When Ali was forced into retirement and was stripped of his title. Then Jimmy Ellis came along. Jimmy Ellis started off as a middleweight. He was an excellent fighter, right? Then Jimmy Ellis, and the last man to do it was Greg Page. But a lot of people forget about Greg Page. But fair play to Greg Page, because Greg Page was very Ali-esque, like dancing on his feet, throwing out jabs. Greg Page as well. And the maddest thing is this: like all three of them now are deceased, right? So I would say Angelo Dundee's up there, but that was me just doing it off my head, right?
Yeah, you gotta have Angelo.
Yeah, and the reason why I'm gonna say with Angelo Dundee, he worked with Ali right for his whole career. The only time he didn't work with him was on Ali's comeback fight after losing in March of '71 to Joe Frazier, and his comeback fight was against Jimmy Ellis, his friend.
Come on.
The only reason why Angelo Dundee worked with Jimmy Ellis instead of Ali is because Angelo Dundee was Jimmy Ellis's manager as well. And they had friendly banter between Ali was saying, yeah, he's a traitor, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is the only time that Angelo Dundee did not work with Muhammad Ali.
Wow. And the people, I told you, on this show, you get the knowledge plus the knowledge. Because this man is a walking box wreck and a walking encyclopedia and a walking Google. And he don't need to press no buttons. He just needs to open his mouth. And that's Spencer Fearon, trust me. And you know what? Someone said it, and I'm saying it as well. We got to put cuss in there. Because he built the foundation to Mike Tyson. So I'm putting cuss in there as well. Cuss the utmost, Spence.
Yeah. You see, I think that was Lady Shan that said that. I'll tell you the maddest thing. About Customo. Customo, when I mean like he made history twice. Because he made history the first time in 1956.
Come on, touch it.
Right, 1956. When Floyd Patterson knocked out Archie Moore,
there you go.
5 rounds to become the youngest ever heavyweight champion at 21 years old.
Jeez. Right?
And then you flip the page to November of '86. Mike Tyson comes along.
This guy.
Right. Mike Tyson comes along and does the same thing when he knocks out Trevor Burbeck in 2 rounds. And he becomes the youngest ever heavyweight champion in the world.
Look at that. That ain't no that's
not a fluke. You know
that ain't a fluke. That's the stars.
It's not a fluke.
The stars. And
that's not a fluke.
So you got Cuss there as well. You know, you got Angelo Dundee. You said Emmanuel Stewart, didn't you?
Yeah, I did say Emmanuel Stewart.
I'm sure you said Emmanuel Stewart. And you know, listen, I done a little bit of history myself, and you got Jack Blackburn. Touching him, Spence.
Oh man,
touching him.
Yeah, I mean, where do you start? Where do you start with these men? So wait there, you got Jack Blackburn.
Yes.
The reason why this man was so incremental with Joe Louis, right, was the fact that Joe Louis, when you look at him, he had everything.
Yes. Didn't Futch say? I remember talking to you one time, and I'm sure you said that Eddie Futch believed Joe Louis would have beat Ali.
Yes, he did. And the reason why Eddie Futch thought that, remember, Eddie Futch was under Jack Blackburn, right? So you got to think, Eddie Futch was an incredible amateur, right? Who didn't turn professional.
Yes.
But he was Joe Louis's bag carrier. So he was around you. And also you got to think, Eddie Futch, if you look at Muhammad Ali's record of the 5 times that Ali lost, and let's take away the October 1980 fight with Larry Holmes, and let's take away I think it was December 1981 fight with Trevor Burke.
Ali was the knowledge.
right?
The knowledge.
So let's forget about him. Let's forget those 2 defeats. But if we look at the Ali fights that he had, his legitimate losses. His 2 legitimate losses. Was the Frazier first fight?
Yeah.
One. And then also the 73 fight that he had. The 73 fight that he had with Ken Norton.
I was just about to say that, Ken.
Right. And you know who was his trainer?
Mr. Eddie Futch.
Okay. So
basically, 4 out of Ali's 5 defeats, Eddie Futch was in the opposing corner.
Yeah. So then that tells you something, right?
Everything you need to know.
Right. So that tells you something. So Eddie Futch had it in his head. It was hell bent and driven on the fact that he believed that Joe Louis would have beaten Muhammad Ali, because if Ken Norton had to beat him, I believe that I could have taught Joe Louis to have taken care of him. But whereas we look at it, I'm saying, I'm not too rightly sure because of Ali's adaptability. When I'm looking at Joe Louis, I look at the best Joe Louis. So the best Joe Louis that I saw, was it the 38 or 39 fight, the rematch with Max Milling, where he just battered Max Milling in 1 round. And I'll say the Ali versus Cleveland Williams was at 66.
Come on.
So if those 2 were to fight the best at their best, that's to me that was their best performances, then I believe that Ali would have won the fight. But
yes,
we can go on, it's all conjecture. It doesn't matter.
Trust me.
They're great, and we have to honor their greatness.
There you go. And you know what? The way we've started this show honoring those highly great men and individuals is really just brings us up onto the new age, the new school, the guys that are dealing with the now, not the future, not the past, but the now. And we are gonna run through them. I want to give respect to where I come from, or where I was born, at least, the UK. So we got to big up the UK, man, and then we're going to go on to the American trainers who are on our list. So the first one, in my opinion, that I credit a lot in this country has to be Joe Gallagher.
You know what? And, we just said him on the phone as well, so we definitely got to big up Joe Gallagher.
It has to be Joe Gallagher. He's on the list, and obviously this is not. We're not naming these in ranking order, but I've always big up Joe Gallagher because I just feel that in the space of, I don't know, when did he get Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year? I think that was 2015. Bruv, I'm coming like the knowledge now, fam. I'm moving like the knowledge. You see, this is what I'm trying to say. When you hang around with a certain people, you take on their vibe and their energy. So I remember 2015 Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year was Joe Gallagher, and in that time, you know, I remember they said that Joe's, you know, Joe come on the scene with winning the Central Area. That was 2003. With Eddie Nevins. That's what bust Joe. But you know, he had 3 world champions in that same year. He won the Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. I remember Corolla, Anthony Corolla, Scott Quigg, and Liam Smith. In that year, 3 world champions. So I mean, Gary asked me, who should I put on the list? And I said, you have to put Joe Gallagher on there.
Without that,
you have to put Joe Gallagher on there, you know, and he's a man like myself, or let me say I'm like Joe Gallagher because he's before me, who's very passionate about his fighters, and he will go tooth for nail to defend them. So Joe Gallagher's on there, number 1. Secondly, we got one of the nicest guys, non-judgmental guys that I've met, certainly, in boxing, and I think he's got that. He's very much got that from his dad. Probably his dad later on in life. Is Mark Tibbs. Mark Tibbs, for me, you know, every time I talk to him, Even in boxing, you know, like I've always said there's no secrets in boxing because everyone chats. And I'd always ask Mark, like, yeah, Mark, what's going on? And he'd always go, I don't know nothing. You understand? Like a true one, you're like, bro, Mark's like, bro, I don't know nothing. But Mark Tibbs is a nice guy, and he's got heritage, boxing heritage.
Yeah, and you can't walk around with that.
You can't mess around with boxing heritage. It means something, and no matter how, motivated you are and how much of a student you are, you can't take away boxing heritage. So Mark Tibbs is definitely on the list. Spencer's gone to drink a Guinness punch or something.
Yeah, I'm my charger, mate.
Sorry, my man. Number three, another man that he's been there. He's been right there, and I saw someone put it on the list. Lady Shan done them season said, the man I'm about to mention, and that's Dominic Ingle. Dominic's had so much success over the years, been around success. Johnny Nelson, Prince Nazim Hamid, Junior Witter.
And we also got to say, I'm busy. Billy Joe's best performance.
Come on. That's true.
And he was trained. He was trained by Dominic Ingle.
I ain't gonna lie, that's the facts.
No long talk, right? Lady Shank also said it's Javon Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill. All right, well, we'll talk about him, but I'm talking about the 8 on our list.
I know. But I'm saying we've been up against Sugar Hill already. And what do we do?
We got Sugar Hill. Yeah, for sure. From Emmanuel. All right, so so far we've had Joe Gallagher, Mark Tibbs, Dominic Ingle. So that's the UK guys that are on the list. And if anyone has any other trainers they feel that should be on the list, but I'm just going by, you can't, just look at the facts. Joe Gallagher, listen, he's been to that top of the mountain twice against the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, and that's Canelo. That's with Liam Smith and then his brother Callum Smith. He's been in there with Callum Johnson and Beterbiev. These are recent times. These are times like now. So you have to put Joe in there. Anyway, moving swiftly forward, we have Freddie Roach. Got to put the trainer, the Pac-Man in there, and many others. I know Spencer's going to break that down. Robert Garcia is also on the list, quite rightly so. And Anatoly Lomachenko, he's in there. And also, I've got his full name. Edison Omar. What's the rest? Edison Omar Reynoso or something. Edison Omar Reynoso. There's one other, but I didn't write that down. But Eddie Reynoso has definitely got to be up there because he's been, the last 2 years has been magnificent for him. Trainer of Oscar Valdez, Ryan Garcia, and Andy Ruiz at the moment. So it seems like he's training the whole of Mexico. And anyone from Mexico or that heritage, they're under Eddie Reynoso. So, and finally, we have, I'm going to tell you where I rate this man when it's time to talk. We have Derrick. What's the surname? Come on, Spence. I want you to finish up. Derrick James. Derrick James is on there. Trainer of Unified Champion, Errol the True Spence, and also Jamel Ironman Charlo. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I place him where I place him when it's time to place them. But Spence, who you want to start with on that list? Breaking down.
Eddie Futch. Sorry.
Eddie Futch in there. You're still in the old school.
Freddie Roach, because as he was trained by
Yes.
Eddie Futch as a fighter.
Yes.
And when things didn't work for him when he was fighting, Eddie Futch took one to his ring and took him in as a trainer. So Freddie had a beacon of knowledge around him to learn from. And I spoke to Freddie, and I remember he was saying to me it was February 9th, I believe, of 1989, when Lloyd Hannigan lost his WBC World Welterweight title to Marlon Starling in the ninth round. He gets stopped. Freddie, you could see a little portly hair guy with like a kind of big gingery afro working in the corner with Eddie Futch. Eddie Futch got all the credit for that fight, but the person that did all of the work, and it's no disrespect being Ill of the Dead, but the person that did all the work for that fight, right? All of the work for that fight was actually Freddie Roach.
Yes.
Freddie Roach worked with him. What's this guy just put up here? H
Money, Mr. Supreme.
Stammer for sale. Don't forget about Terence Crawford's trainer, Bomac. We're not going to forget about him. Yeah, I mean, Bomac's a very good trainer. But what I'm saying, when it comes to Freddie Roach, first major world champion was when he was working with a young man called Virgil Hill.
Yes. Come on.
Virgil Hill was the 1984 Olympic bronze medalist.
Yes.
Sorry, silver medalist, not bronze. He got to the final, right? He won his world title by beating Leslie Stewart of Trinidad and Tobago. I think that was in 87. Yeah, it was in 87. Because I was in Jamaica at the time. I watched that fight, right? Thursday night at the fights in Jamaica, and I watched that fight. And if you look at, and the next thing as well, if you look at somebody like a Virgil Hill, one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time, right?
Didn't Roy Jones Jr. break him up?
He did, but he was slightly old. But
hold on, did he dropped Roy Jones?
No. It was Lou DeValley that dropped Roy Jones.
Lou DeValley that dropped Roy Jones, yeah.
Because Virgil Hill beat Lou DeValley, but before he beat Lou DeValley had him over, but then he won a tight point decision against him. So it's all right.
The knowledge.
Right. And so, but they were quite similar looking in skin tone. So I can see why you made the mistake there.
Yeah, yes,
right?
sir.
But when you look at somebody like Virgil Hill, he wasn't an out puncher. He was a work rate man. He had skills. He throw head, he throw body, he throw really good combinations. He had very, very good lateral movement. So Freddie's been in the game for a hot minute. But the thing about it is this: why Freddie Roach, I would say, would have to be on anybody's list, is because Freddie Roach has trained one of the greatest fighters of all time. And no one can't say that Manny Pacquiao is not one of the greatest fighters of all time, because he is.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you be with a man and this guy for bust 4 decades, he's been
champion in 4 decades.
In 4 decades.
That's incredible.
Unheard of. And I don't care that titles are fragmented. I don't care about anything else. 4 decades this guy's been in the game.
In 8 different weight classes.
Yeah, 8 different weight classes. Right? That is incredible. So the body of work, you know what I mean, Freddie Roach trained Victor Postel, right? I remember when Victor Postel was going up against Luque Matisse, everyone thought that Matisse was going to kill him.
Yep.
Right? And Freddie Roach devised the game plan enough to bring his fighter through. So you got to give Freddie Roach a lot of credit.
He's up there.
He's up there. I'm saying, like, of today is Freddie Roach. This is how the game goes. It swings and roundabouts. We've seen it in the UK. I remember, like, just before, at the time when I turned pro, right? Yes. Everybody was going to Jimmy Tibbs, right?
Everybody.
So you're right. Everybody's going to Jimmy Tibbs. I used to go down to the Peacock gym, and I used to spar regularly with Wayne Alexander. I used to spar regularly with Chris Pyatt, right? Chris Pyatt won the WBO middleweight title by beating Sambu Kalambe.
Leicester boy. Leicester man.
Yeah, the Leicester man, right? So
yeah.
But and of that time, everybody would go down to the Peacock gym because everybody was around, wanted to be around Jimmy Tibbs because he was not as the best trainer. Jimmy Tibbs.
Sorry to disappoint you, just because you mentioned it. Freddie Roach training Victor Postel to beat Matisse, and then subsequently, Josh Taylor beat Postel. So I just thought about that, and I'm like, looking back at that, I remember that was kind of early in Josh's career. I think he only had like 12 fights.
It was something like that.
12 fights, and he beat Victor Postol. So that's serious. So sorry, that just crossed my mind, Spence.
So I'm saying that Freddie Roach, you got to give Freddie Roach all the credit in the world as a trainer, and not only that, but for the fact that Freddie Roach, what I'm saying, it swings and roundabouts, because I remember when everybody was going down to the Peacock to get trained, everyone was sitting at the doorstep. You know what I mean? Everyone was sitting at the doorstep of at the Peacock gym, and then what happened? Swings and roundabouts. Then Nassim Hamed started to blow away everyone. Then everybody go to the Ingle gym. So everybody was based in the Ingle gym.
Yes.
Then what's happening now? Then Billy Graham starts to get success with
Ricky.
With Ricky Hatton. Everyone's going to Manchester. Then there's also Manchester is the capital of boxing in the UK. So you understand? It moves around.
Exactly.
So that's the game. Yeah, I mean,
yes, sir.
So we got to props Freddie Roach. He's got to be up there. Freddie Roach.
Okay, so
remember, because he suffers from Parkinson's disease, and he still works. Incredible work ethic. You got rated.
Yes. Okay. Let's speak about. I mean, maybe not really gonna be known as, a high-profile fighter, but if you look at the body of work of what he's done and who he's been around and the family that he comes from, he definitely has to be on the list, and that's Robert Garcia.
Come on, man. Robert Garcia.
Come on.
I remember when he won the IBF. We won the IBF
super featherweight title. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he got broke up by Diego
Corrales. Corrales broke it up.
Yeah, but you got to think like Corrales ain't no easy guy, you know.
Nah. He was a monster.
Monster. Yeah, I mean, look at when you look at Garcia's body of work, right? Maybe to me, I like the work that he's done with Brandon Rios.
Yes, because he did kind of. Rios was fighting with his face.
Yeah.
For a long time, and then he brushed him up.
You know what I mean? He brushed him up. He's made multiple world champions, but the major thing with him, you know what I mean? Leo Santa Cruz, he worked briefly with him. He's worked with,
and also his brother.
Yeah, come on. His brother's bad, you know.
Yeah, he was bad, but it's just like you can't go up from those little baby weights to the best welterweight in the world in Errol Spence.
Yeah. Well, when I'm saying this, you see, like when we're dealing with Mikey Garcia.
Yes.
Mikey Garcia, we have to turn around and say, if Mikey Garcia stayed at lightweight.
Yes.
If he stayed at lightweight. We'd be calling his name now. Because to me, as I was concerned, Mikey Garcia would have beaten Lomachenko.
Interesting.
Right? That's how I saw it. Because before then, remember, he was a multiple weight. Yeah, I mean, he's a multiple
world champion. Yeah.
So I'm saying, to me, Mikey Garcia is still top tier. The way he broke up Robert Easter Jr. and Robert Garcia was incremental in that broke up, because Robert Garcia ain't no easy guy, you know.
No, sir.
Right.
No, sir.
Robert Easter Jr. is a very, very good fighter. So, like I'm saying, we have to props him. So Robert Garcia, he'd be in an argument to say that he's top 10, 100 top 10. Top 5. It's conjectures, but we're going to argue about that.
Yeah, I mean, I read a comment from Peace and Love Boxing. He said there are too many talented coaches to have a top 5, and that's true. But you can even go for a top 10 because again, it's a subjective thing. But these are the names that we're gonna judge today, and then people will obviously have their own opinion. The next trainer we're gonna mention is, let me pick this one, Spence. we spoke about him briefly because because he was one of the British guys. So let's leave the British guys out for now. All right, let's go with Eddie Reynoso. Come on.
You know what? You know, Eddie.
Hold on. What? Bobby Rat? Bobby Rat? Come on.
Right. When we're talking about like what Eddie Reynoso met.
Oh, big up Bobby Wright. Contributions, Spence.
Big Bobby Wright's our guy. He's our brother from another mother. Straight step.
Right? Big up, Bobby. Thank you for the contribution. No matter how big or small, everything gets stopped to openly say the person who's contributing. I don't care what topic is. We're bigging them up. The show has to be stopped. So big up Bobby Wright. $9.99 supermarket sweep. Yeah. Big up. Anyway, sorry.
We ain't got Del Winton with us, but don't worry about it.
Come on. So yeah, touching him.
Who are we talking about?
Hold on. I didn't even say the name. Eddie Reynoso. I did say the name. Eddie Reynoso.
Yeah, Eddie Reynoso. You know, he met Canelo when Canelo was 13, he was 25.
13 years old. Both young in their careers.
Yeah.
You know, again, loyalty is royalty.
Yeah.
And when you're with someone at the beginning, and especially so young, they're not just your trainer. You know, they're more than that. And I remember everyone was calling for Reynoso's head when he got outboxed by Floyd Mayweather, and he said, "No, sir, that's my guy."
Right. And you know what? And that's you know what next thing as well is like they said to Angelo Dundee. So we're gonna merge the two with the history. They said to Angelo Dundee, why didn't you leave Ali when you saw that there was physical complications with him? And he said, I'm a firm believer if you not to play God with nobody, but also I believe if you start with a guy, you finish with a guy.
Come on. If I had the Fagun thing, I would press it now. But we need to get back in the studio for that.
Right. And the next thing is
start with a guy, you done with a guy.
Right. When Callum Smith came in second best to Canelo, in the changing room, Canelo was saying to Eddie Reynoso, I will never let you down. You're my teacher. I will never let you down. That is the respect, you know what I mean, that you earn and it's not bestowed.
Come on.
So Eddie Reynoso has to be up there because in my opinion, Canelo is the best pound for pound fighter in the world.
I said it. You was trying to tell me something different, but I told you.
Right? And I remember the stick that Eddie Reynoso was getting, right? When Canelo got beat by Floyd. I remember everyone was saying, well, what does he know? He's too young. I mean, what does he know? You don't know nothing. Get rid of him. This is just a sport. But he stayed loyal to his trainer. Yes. And he's reaping the rewards of that success. Yes, but Eddie Reynoso's got one of the hottest stars, an internet sensation that can actually fight. Yes. Right? In Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, so he can talk the talk, walk the walk.
Right, he walks the walk, and he's incredibly low to the thing. So yeah, it's all good.
But as you say, you know, and this is what happens. You know, you get that one breakout fighter, and then everybody wants to be there. As you said, it happened with Billy Graham, it happened with Jimmy Tibbs, it happened with Dominic Ingle. It's just the way the game is, and if people don't look at that and you know take note of how history works, you know, they really would always probably be criticizing. It's just the way it works. When you put so much into an individual, and it's like a tree. From that tree, you got the branches. And Eddie Reynoso right now is really in a glorious time and moment in his career, and he deserves it. So big up Eddie Reynoso. Right, let's moving on. All right, let's go back to one British person. So let's go back to good friend of ours, Spence, Dominic Ingle.
You know what? Dominic Ingle is a good trainer that doesn't scream about being a good trainer.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you a story because you know me, I like my stories. One time, I was with Cash. Remember Akash Bhatia?
Yeah.
And
Super featherweight.
yeah, super featherweight. And we won the fight. I remember they stopped the fight early, and I swear Dom would not remember this. I looked over and I see Dom put his hand in his head and go. I like to say, bruv, you're rubbish, man. Like, bruv, that shouldn't even be stopped. He won't remember that. But you know, my eyes are sharp. I see everything. And it's so crazy. I remember that about Dom. And I always remember that every time I met Dom or saw Dom, every time I saw him, he would just have that thing where, you know, he does that thing. He goes like that. He goes like that. It's like he's just taking in the knowledge. And, I look at him as like he's definitely one of the master trainers of the UK. Absolutely. But carry on. I just had to tell you that story there about Dominic.
Yeah. So look from where he's come from. He's come from lineage. So the lineage of where he's come from.
Yes, heritage.
Yeah, it's the heritage. His dad was an excellent trainer. Brendan Ingle was the person that put Sheffield on the map, and he put the still in the Still City when he went out and produced loads of world champions. But when you look at this now, Dom grew up around this because remember, Harold Graham was living in one of their houses. So Dom was living with Harold Graham. Harold Graham, famously Britain's greatest ever champion, never to win a world title.
Yes.
Right? The middleweight and super middleweight. So could you imagine, like, he's seeing when the system's in place from early doors, the circles around on the gym floor.
On the floor, yeah.
Yeah. But to me, I'm going to say his biggest success was actually Johnny Nelson.
Yes.
I think that was the biggest success because him and his brother kind of took over after the dad was getting a bit frail and stuff like that. They took over. They did most of the work. So Johnny, to me, a man that his first 5 fights, I think he lost 3 of them. Right? Johnny Nelson, to me, is the biggest success story of any British fighter that become a world champion.
And still got his faculties.
Still got his faculties. You know what I mean? I would say when Johnny Nelson held the world title for 7.5 years, WBO cruiserweight title. And not only that, with someone like Johnny Nelson, you get certain fighters who retire from the game and they become bitter. Johnny Nelson is totally, and I mean totally, at peace with himself. And I would say that comes from the father, Brendan Ingle, because Brendan Ingle was like a second father to him. So when you look at it, he's still close with the Ingles. Dominic, these guys were like brothers. So I would say like Dom's, we got to call his name, man. Anyway, I said it before. He produced Billy Joe Saunders' best ever win.
Yes. Right. Derrick James.
Bad man.
Come on. Trainer of Errol the Truth.
Right.
Trainer of Jamal Ironman Charlo. And the thing I like, I say, listen, I love listening to your knowledge all day long. And I literally sit here and watch all day. Peace and love, boss. He says, don't forget Enzo Calzaghe. He deserves a shout out. And I just did that, mate. Enzo, obviously, I've always said, Joe, sorry, I'm diverting him, but Joe Calzaghe is absolutely my favorite British fighter of all time. And that started from somewhere. Enzo Calzaghe. So big up Enzo Calzaghe. We're giving you your honorable mention on the thing. So yeah. But anyway, with Derrick James, what I like about Derrick James is how Charlo lost his title. He comes back, he rematches the guy, stops him, and then unifies the title again. And then Errol Spence has one of the most horrific car crashes, an A-team car crash. Spence, you know A-team?
Yeah, and the car spin round.
The car spin round. And he was still managed to come back and defeat not just a good fighter, but a great fighter in Danny Garcia. And Danny's my friend, but I was talking to him on Insta last night. He broke up Danny Garcia. That's just the truth. And Derrick James is instrumental in both of those guys. You know, all of them are from Texas, including Charlo. And you know, the thing I say why Derrick James is a success story, because even as a pro, he had a 21-7 career as a super middleweight. And so he's proven that even in those losses and wins as a professional, he's taken that and he's developed two highly young, talented, great fighters and made them unified champions. Both of them. That ain't no magic. That ain't abracadabra. That's the thing.
Isn't no magic at all. And what the thing I like about Derrick James is, like, he ain't into the hype, you know.
Nah, bro. You know, again, sorry, I'm coming with stories. I remember we walked into Floyd's gym, all of us. You know, Derrick was there, and I used to sit down.
Who walked into Floyd's gym? Who was it?
Sorry, myself, Anthony Yard, O'Hara Davis, Junior Benjamin, aka Otu Saba. You know, we went over there. We was going to Floyd's gym every day. It's the time when Errol was helping Floyd get ready. And I remember key words Derrick said to me. He said to me, just be yourself. Bruv, you see what I'm saying? Sometimes a person could just say a few words that stick with you. And Errol weren't champ these times. Remember, because before, Errol Spence was fighting on the show before the big show. So when Floyd was fighting, there would be a card on the Thursday.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? In the casino. And this is when Errol was fighting on that show. I remember I swear he had a tough fight with some African brother.
Yeah, hurt him up, you know.
He had a tough fight with some African brother.
Quartet like that he used there.
Something like that. But yeah. Derrick James, even before, and the thing I like about Derrick, he's just a humble guy, puts his head down. More importantly, he's just himself, and that's what he said to me. Just be yourself. Don't matter if no one don't like it. And he didn't need to tell me that, but it was great to hear it from him and see him. You know, I saw someone said he should have got Trainer of the Year. He did get Trainer of the Year. He did get Trainer of the Year. So,
Wilson, thank you so much for your $2 contribution.
Big up Alexander,
right,
Mr. Wilson,
Sugar Hill Stewart.
Completely changed Fury.
He did completely change Tyson Fury, but he just made Tyson Fury realize what he had. And the next thing, I was talking to Dominic Ingle earlier today. He was saying that Tyson Fury should be up there as trainer, one of the best trainers, because Tyson Fury has literally trained himself. Originally, when Tyson Fury,
I like that.
Originally, when Tyson Fury came into the game, it was Huey that he was working with, right? And then Peter took over, right? And then Ben Davison was there for a short term, and then he went to Sugar Hill. But I think what Sugar Hill made him realize was that use your attributes.
Yes.
You're 6'9". You got a ridiculous reach. You're 19 stone. Sit down on your punches and hit guys where it hurts. And I think what he did with that is like, yeah, you Sugar Hill. We got prop Sugar Hill. But
Derrick
James, we have to say that he's got to be up there, because if you think about Derrick James, he trains guys to be offensive fighters.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So these guys are looking to clap you up.
Yes.
So I'm not saying he trains all of his fighters the same, but he trains his fighters to be strong.
Yes.
All of his fighters fight. None of them don't fight no weakness. The only one who got in there with a little weakness is they got mashed up, yeah. Little Ghanaian Bridget who left and went over there.
Who's that?
What are you talking about? Little Ghanaian lightweight, brother.
Oh, it wasn't with Derrick.
It was with Derrick.
No, man. He went with what's the Miracle Man's trainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure?
What's his name? The Miracle Man's trainer?
You sure?
The one that the Miracle Man sacked.
What, are you sure?
I'm telling you.
Okay.
You're talking about Richard Comey, right?
Comey, yeah.
Richard Comey wasn't with Derek James. He was with Danny Jacobs' ex-trainer.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name? Come on, Spence.
Oh, I've forgotten the guy's
name. Knowledge, the Buddha guy. Nice guy, man.
Yeah, he's a very nice brother.
Oh, what's his name? He slipped. But yeah, he was with him. He was with that camp. Anyway.
Andre, Rosada.
Rosada?
Yeah, that's his name.
Nah, man, that's not his name. I know the name.
No, it was my man's last trainer.
Who?
Rosada.
No, we're gonna get onto him. I'm gonna tell you the guy's name anyway. Maybe someone on here. Who was Danny? Who was Danny?
Someone just put up Andre Rosada.
That's it. Andre Rozea. It's the way you're saying it. Yeah, Andre Rozea. Yeah, that's the name. He was with that crew there.
They look the same to me. But what I'm saying, but when I saw that, when I saw that, I'm going to Richard Comey. I'm saying, okay, Richard Comey, you started off in the game and you was with your little Nigerian man.
Yes, Ghanaian man, not Nigeria. Don't get the two mixed up, fam.
Because remember,
the man that nearly fight me. He nearly fight me. Remember?
Yeah, he kicked off in the gym.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, Tunde.
Get out my effing gym.
Bro, I've been causing trouble from the get-go. Bro, it's the energy. Bro, man was causing trouble with that bloody Tunde. He's always causing trouble around here. No, I'm not. All right. So so far we've had Eddie Reynoso, Robert Garcia, Freddie Roach, Dominic Ingle, Derrick James. So there's two more. And they're both British. Joe Gallagher. I know we spoke about these earlier, but we didn't elaborate on the stuff that I did, but I want to hear it from you. Joe Gallagher, and what makes him creditable enough to be on this list.
Wait there. Let me just phone Joe, yeah?
Come on, the knowledge, the black book. The black book.
Right,
Hold on, wait there. Alexander Wilson, it says Teofimo Lopez Sr. They were underdogs. Definitely, we're giving him his honorable mention. And he actually got, I think he got trainer of the year as well. He got some award. Again, he could be on the list as well. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Big up Curtis
Anderson dropping those dollars. We got the American man there backing us, and women, because we got Sharma as well. Sharma Shireen, she's always there. But thank you, Curtis Anderson. Curtis Hammond said, I love the old time trainers. Harry Wally Sr., Bowie Fisher. That's who you was talking about today, Spence.
Sorry, Joe Gallagher.
Bowie Fisher, Slim Jim Robinson, Bill Miller.
Joe's on the line.
Hold on. We got Joe. We're gonna come back to that though.
Yeah,
but Joe Gallagher, how you doing, Joe?
Yes, hi Tunde, hi Spence.
We say, mate. We're doing this list. We're compiling this list of the best trainers in the year of not the current trainers right now, and we believe that you're on the list for everything that you've done in your body of work. Can we just quickly just scope over instead of me talking out what you've done? I'm giving you the floor to tell us how you started in the game, right, and the champions that you've made, sir.
Been involved with the sport of boxing since I was age 10. Like I say, amateur boxer 17, 18, Moss side. Became a coach at the age of 22, 23. Amateur coach, won schoolboy titles, junior ABA titles, boys club titles, ABA titles, world quarter finalists, Olympians. As a professional coach, then I think it's like 14 British champions now. I think it's like 5 European, 4 world, although it should be 6. And yeah, that's it.
God Almighty, Joe. Listen, mate, that's a long list, sir. That's a long list, and listen, that's what it is. You reap what you sow. You put in the hard work, and I mentioned that you were the Ring Magazine 2015 Trainer of the Year, and the passion. You've made your passion pay.
Trainer of the Year 2019.
Yes, sir.
2019
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry, twice. Sorry, go there. Don't mind.
and I said, Joe. Sorry, Joe.
You get them to try and share the same dream as you, and you push them and you work and you strive and you do, and you've just got to keep believing in yourself. Do you know what I mean? There's lots of people. Everyone has to go if you win. Everyone has to go if you lose. It's just, that's how it is. You just got to stay on that line and just stay focused. And there's plenty of people in this sport that'll pull you down and pull you apart. And you can't allow that. You've got to stand strong. And I always feel in any battle or any war, you've got to lead by the front, and you've got to stand strong and be stern. Fight for your fighters, and they'll fight back with you, and that's it. We're going to war, and that's it.
I know you can't see me, Joe, but I'm giving you a round of applause, mate. I don't care if I'm the only one in the room giving you a round of applause. But
yeah, and also we forget like the transformation that Joe's done with Natasha Jonas. We got to big that up.
Yes,
you know?
Yes.
She did brilliant this year. She come back, everyone wrote her off, and she became world champion. Although people don't want her crown as a world champion, but everyone knows she's a world champion. She won that, and that's one of my best success stories as a coach for a woman who's totally written off. She lost, got knocked out. Not one person came in the change rooms and asked how she was when she lost, and we just that as our drive in that camp, and that was it.
Excellent, Joe. Listen, you know me, I've been backing you from day one anyway. So I know you got a geezer around you who don't like me, but who gives a shit? I don't care. Everybody can't like everybody, but me, Tunde Ajayi, I'm one of your biggest fans, because when I look at you, I look at a man who, as you said, believes in himself, but more importantly, fights for his fighters the way he would fight for himself.
One thing you got to give Joe Gallagher. Joe Gallagher's for his fighters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right?
And
sometimes he may shoot from the hip, and he could regret shooting from the hip. But what I'm saying is, I know Joe. I've known Joe for donkeys, and his heart's in the right place.
Yes, and that's the key. So, Joe, listen. Go on, Joe.
You asked me about the champions there who have been involved, but listen, like anything, like from where it came from, Phil Martin or from the Ingles or from wherever, there's been plenty more people that boxed for me that as amateurs that went on to become good as doctors or accountants and everything else. There's been lots more people, success stories. It's just you have to put the dedication, the discipline, the work ethic, the drive, the ambition, the focus, the dream into them and install it in them, and they've gone on and applied that to their way of life, no matter what their boxing might not have been for them, but they've gone then and took what they've learned in the gymnasium, in that environment, teamwork, respect, everything else, and gone and applied it into certain situations like that. So it's all good, and it's all good. And like you say, coaching, we're still learning, we're still evolving, and you've got to, you can't sit still, and it's very easy for people to knock me and knock Tunde and knock everyone else. I remember Tunde, people think Tunde's just turned up. I remember Tunde with a young, fresh-faced Kevin Mitchell at the boxing awards, and I was there.
Come on, Joe. Tell them, Joe. Tell them.
Amir Khan, Kevin Mitchell, John Murray, and they were the three fresh-faced kids prospects of the year. And Tunde was there representing Kevin Mitchell, and I was there representing John Murray.
And that year, I did a comedy that year. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Kevin Mitchell, young boxer of the year.
Yep.
Boxer of the year. So yeah, it is what it is. The game is the game. It continues to be what it is, and that's the reason why I love this game. But someone asked a question about. There's a guy called Cohen. He was saying, Gary, if you get it up, he said, was Callum Smith given enough time to prepare going in for that Canelo fight? And because you're here, I'm just going to ask you, because you're going to jump off. Was he given enough time to prepare, sir?
No, was he? 32 days he took the fight, and that's what I said all the way through. The finger. Listen, people don't understand. Only boxing people understand. 32 days. All right, so 32 days. What's that? 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. Callum Smith decided, fuck it, I'm going for it. I'm not going to say it might not ever happen. Bollocks to it. So fair play to you. Let's go and do it. Let's do the best we can. Now, you know and I know, in a pandemic, where people can't travel up and down motorways, you can't get the sparring partners, everything becomes limited. So you did the best that you could do in the short term. I came away from that feeling shortchanged because we'd seen the best Canelo. Canelo said in an interview, I've been training for Callum Smith for 4 months. He knew 4 months ago, but that's the power he has, like Mayweather. But
yes.
I know we were training, but people think, oh, well, you could have been fighting him. But hang on a minute, you can't strip somebody down, get rid of all their old habits, and then develop new habits and new rhythms and new shot selections and movement and build it and learn that in 3.5 weeks. It just doesn't happen. So did we have enough time? No, we didn't, but we did the best that we could. And that's why we didn't moan about it, because Callum decided to take it, roll the dice, and we rolled with it. Didn't happen. Right, okay, we come away and that's it. We've got to see what he does next. Do you know what I mean? Whether he fights again, I don't know. It's up to the kids. Do you know what I mean? He's done very well. He's had a great career. And it's up to him what he decides to do. But as you know, to get into study people's habits and being able to dissect them and then eradicate them and nullify them, and then you to come back with your shots and then second guess you, and that's what it is. And bringing in the specific sparring partners, that takes like 10 weeks of people discovering and developing new habits and new shots and developing that all the time. Even if you're world champion, you're still learning different things because you have to adapt your game to the fighter that's in front of you. You don't just turn up and think I'm a know-it-all. Andre was studying all the time. That's how you stay top of the game. Mayweather's training all the time. He isn't just turning up being the same Floyd all the time. Floyd's developing. Canelo is, and that's what top of the game is, and that's what you've got to do. And we just didn't have that window to be able to do that, but we did the best we could, but it wasn't to be good enough.
There you go. And let me just say, that's why Mr. Joe, we're gonna call you MB or something. I'm gonna phone up the Queen. Well, I'm gonna tell Spencer, because Spencer's definitely got the Queen's number in that black book of his, and tell her to make Mr. Joe Gallagher OBE. Yes, sir, Joe. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the phone, and I thank you for your time.
It'll never happen. Face doesn't fit. There you go.
Come on, Joe. We know what it said. Joe, have a good evening, mate.
And
yeah, fantastic, Joel. Take care. God bless. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The fight is right, Spence. You can't play with this. You can't, bro. This is the real thing. This ain't scripted. This ain't scripted. As Joe just said. We just pick up the phone man, and they answer. All
right.
I said, come on. Lovely. Let's keep it moving. So we've had Joe. So we got, I think, one more. And that's beautiful guy, the one, the only, Mr. Mark Tibbs. Break it down, sir. Hold on, before I give you another story, me and Mark Tibbs first bumped heads. We had a big war in the ring. Big war, me and Mark.
Why?
We was doing body sparring. You know, Mark's young as a trainer. Still got the fire in his belly, still shadow boxing and hitting the bag and you know that you see Mark training. So boom, those days we used to do body sparring. So I had young Joe Catchmo, you know Joe well, Spence.
Yeah,
first man that ran off with our money. Young Joe Catchmo, great kid. And Joe was doing well with one of Mark's fighters, and then Mark said, "Let me get in there." And Mark is an ex-pro. Mark's an ex-pro, and Joe's a little young kid, 18 years old, and Mark's going ripping up Joe's body, and I'm like, "Nah, stop that." And I said, "All right, cool, let me get in there." So boom, me and Mark Tibbs. Listen, this is enough people don't know this story. Me and Mark Tibbs, Peacock Gym. It was Mark Tibbs against Ajayi. The one and only Tunde Ajayi, flash kid from, just come over from South London. I didn't even know about all these East, man. I didn't know nothing about no East London, no heritage about my dad, Mark Tibbs. I didn't know nothing about that. I just from the roads, as you know, Spence.
Yeah, from the roads.
I was just from the roads. I come into this boxing.
I will never give you another interview in your journalistic life.
Yeah. So like I was like, no, I don't care. Yeah. So me and Mark got in there. Bam! Mark hit me low blow, Spence. Hit me in my the family jewels. So I was like, bro, hold it down. Boom, ding, ding. We got Odin, Alexander Wilson. This trainer has been in the game since the 80s and helped many kids out. Some of the most violent hoods in Baltimore. Calvin Ford needs to be named. Yeah, and big up Calvin Ford's, because Calvin, he's that man in the wire. He's the trainer in the wire.
The trainer in the wire has been based. He's got some really good kids. He's got Lorenzo Simpson as well.
Yeah.
Right? The kids coming through. Now Lorenzo's doing like middleweight was his last fight. He was starting off as a super middleweight. He's gone now.
Middleweight, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the pandemic is like they can't get the groceries. So Calvin, we have to big up Calvin. Like we have to big him up.
100%.
With the glasses, with the chain around it.
Yeah.
And Calvin used to be proper road. Don't get twisted.
Yeah, and his Insta stories, his Instagram posts give me joke as well. He's a lively character.
Yeah, I'm from the road, so
yeah, he's from the roads.
From the roads, right? So we have to give him that for like what he built up in Baltimore. Because when I was in, what was it? It was 2008 Christmas. Yeah, I was in Washington and we went down to Baltimore as well. Untitled Chapter was fighting. He was defending his WBF World Middleweight crown out there. The Albanian Eagle. And when I was there, I was just walking on the road. And when I met Slim from The Wire. And I said, yeah, we're here for boxing, and all the rest. He said, yeah, man, you got time to come. Boom. The next day, he took me to Calvin's gym in Baltimore. And we have to be Calvin for the fact. But the thing about it is America is such a big place. You're right. There are loads of Calvins out there who are doing that kind of work, dragging the youths off of the road, bringing them in the gym. But, and this is the but, they ain't making champions like Calvin. Yes. So 100% Alexander Wilson. We have the props because he trains Tank as well. You know what I mean? Javante Davis. We have the props Alexander Wilson. So Alexander Wilson for the donation, but we have the props Calvin Ford for reminding us of what a fantastic coach that Mr. Ford is.
Right. So I'm Mark Tibbs now. So me and Mark got in the ring. Mark hit me low one time. I said, bro, mind that. That's exactly what I said to him, bro, mind that. Bam. Ding, ding. Bell goes again. Bam. He hits me again, low blow. So I said, cool. Guy, you want to take it because I'm from the roads. So if that's how you want to go, let's do it. So, boom, man had to whack man up. Not really, but what happened? We ended the spar. Me and Mark ended the spar. We got out of the ring. We went down the back because these East London men, they're like, all right, come around the back, son. Had the cobblers. So me and Mark went around the back, and he said a few words to me, which I would never. We have certain codes. We're not like people who just record voice notes and then air them in public.
Yeah. You like those.
You understand? So me and Mark had a few words
about people as well. Don't worry about it.
So me and Mark had a few words round the back of Peacock Gym. We shook hands. We embraced like brothers. And I'm telling you, from that day, me and Mark Tibbs have been friends. And we message each other and we speak to each other. And Mark is a good guy. So I just wanted to say that personally about Mark Tibbs. Very, very nice human being. Go again, Spence.
Yeah. So if I'm looking at the guys that Mark Tibbs has trained.
Yes.
Right? The one that he worked with his dad when he was working with a young Kevin Mitchell, when Kevin Mitchell recorded his best ever win against Braden Prescott. And the reason why that was so good, because Kevin was doing super feather, he moved up to lightweight, and he defeats the man that knocked out Amir Khan. So, and he was very tactical in that fight. He was like hit and hop it.
Very.
He boxed a very, very skilled fight.
Yes, sir. So, and Mark's worked with Dillian White. We can't forget that.
I'm gonna get to that. And the reason why we have to look on the work that Mark did with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has come from a kickboxing background and a Muay Thai background. And what he's done, he kind of stabilized him a little bit more to the fundamentals of boxing and the understanding of the fundamentals of boxing. And I've said this before, and this is nothing against Xavier Miller. I like Xavier Miller a lot, right? There's two things that you can't buy. You can't buy experience, right? And in your teachings, like Xavier Miller was around Don Charles a lot, but I don't know if he was in the corners in the big fights for Don Charles. So that makes a difference. Because when you're around it and you're around the whole thing, you're around the ethos and the energy and everything else, right? And I think in time, Xavier will learn that side. I think the training side, he's good with. I don't think the corner side is good with yet because he hasn't had the experience.
Yeah,
right. And for you, experience, right, and for you to get that experience, and I'm not knocking Xavier because I've got nothing but love. I'm boosting up the youth.
Are you talking the facts?
Right, I'm talking the facts. I don't believe that Dillian Whyte would have lost if he had Mark Tibbs in his corner for that particular fight against Povetkin. That's my honest, right?
Okay.
But what I am saying is this. When you are with a trainer, you want to be with a hungry man. And one thing that I have to give this Miller youth, from when I met him, and he was saying that he wants to become a trainer, and he's starting his gym to come down. So I must have met him back in maybe 2016, right? Yes. Just because I met him and his dad together. I was on the train. He really does want, and when I mean like he gives it his all, he gives it his all. So all he's got to do is keep on doing what he's doing. He's gonna go get the success. But I think with Mark Tibbs, for the fundamentals of boxing, right? You know the old adage, a big right hand takes you around the corner. Yeah, I mean the jab takes you all around the world.
Yes.
Right?
Xavier's definitely gonna be there. And listen, Dylan could carry the experience he's had with Mark, and it rubs up on Xavier. So I'm happy Dylan didn't just follow what people were saying and split with Xavier after the loss. I didn't remember. And for those who don't know, go and watch Gervonta Davis interview with Eddie Sethback, and they spoke about people or fighters leaving their trainers after a loss. And Gervonta Davis said, no, you don't do that. And he said, if you look at most fighters who leave their trainers that they started with and come up with an environment, they don't go on to be anything major in the sport of boxing.
Okay.
And that's a fact. Manny Pacquiao, there's so many. Floyd, Canelo, Ali, there's so many. The list goes on and on. But listen.
Who I could say was an absolute superstar. I used to change. Huh?
Oscar.
Yeah, definitely. Oscar. Yeah. Change.
Like he's baggy. You change it like he's baggy.
Yeah, like I should change young. So
Spencer, what's the matter with you? Come on, man. Anyway,
he's the only guy that I know that has done that and got successful.
Yes. So Mark Tibbs definitely is on the list. We're gonna save the second part of the show to just read out comments and give opinions and based on what people are saying. The final trainer on the list is Anatello, and I see a guy goes, Lomachenko, bro, he's on the list. You just come into the thing. You need to be patient, listen to the conversation, and then make your comments. But Anatello Lomachenko absolutely has to be on the list. Obviously training one of the best featherweights in recent times, one of the best amateurs of recent time, and also one of the best cruiserweights of all time. The only man to unify the cruiserweight division in Alexander Usyk. Spence, tell me what you know about this great man.
Listen, man, from well, you just read it out because
Yes.
the two guys that you go off of, right? So for the two guys that you go off of, who he's trained at the time when what's going on there? Something going on with this station. All right, it's cool. At the time when I'll deal with this guy in a minute. At the time when Lomachenko was at his height, yeah, many studious boxing brains were telling me that this man is gonna go down in history as the greatest ever. So, and the dad was the one that taught him from the get-go. You don't go to the Olympics, come out gold medal. You know what I mean? You become a world champion. You become a world champion in your second pro fight. Sorry, your third pro fight.
Third pro fight, yeah.
That's serious, right?
Phenomenal.
Right, and he done it against Gary Russell Jr., who's no joke.
No joke. No joke. Fighters don't want to fight Gary Russell Jr. right now because he's too dangerous. He's one of them low reward, big risk fighters.
Exactly. And also, when you see them, he's done it again, you got to think Alexander Usyk is an undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world by winning all 4 belts.
Yes.
That's nuts. Right?
Absolutely.
So when we look on him, you have to know what kind of fun that you're dealing with. And as a trainer, you can only go by the result. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you think about it, you say like he's trained his son from baby days. And it was very unconventional kind of style of training that he was doing. It's a lot of it is cerebral, it's mental agility away from the boxing training. So we have to give him the credit for what he's done because he's not just done it with his son, he's done it again with another youth. Right? Alexander Usyk is bad. I would say I'm still going to be interested to see how Alexander Usyk performs in heavyweight, but it doesn't matter because really and truly, you have to put that guy down in the pound for pound for what he's done.
Yes.
He's now at heavyweight. I don't think he's going to get the same success, but when you've got skills like that, you know, skills pay the bills, and he showed that in the DERRICK as well. He also has heart. So it's a very interesting time. But we have to big up Lomachenko because he's a very good trainer.
So that's 8. That's the fantastic 8. Oh yeah, L Dog says that Usyk beat 3 undefeated world champions in their backyard to become undisputed as well. That's unreal.
Right, exactly.
That's unreal. That's unreal.
We got props. We got props in.
And yeah. Hold on, wait there. And one thing that made me laugh is Gary Russell Sr. named all of his children Gary Russell. Bro, this is some spiritual thing. He's like, bro, you ain't never gonna forget my name. That's generations. I think George Foreman done that as well.
Done exactly the same thing.
Wow.
Even Georgina. And while we're here and we're on it, we have to give a props to the big man George Foreman. I think it's his 72nd birthday today.
Today?
So, yeah, today. Today is
George.
You
see the powers. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It's his birthday. We have to give the man his props. Former 2-time world heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Clap
out Michael Moore.
Clap out Michael Moore. In what was that? I'm sure that was November 94.
How did you remember that? How?
I don't know. Right? And also you go check that. And also his vicious win in January of 1973 when he knocked down Joe Frazier 6 times to become world heavyweight champion in Kingston, Jamaica. Yep. It is what it is.
Wait there. I'm just checking because you said it early, but I need to check, Spence. Evander Holyfield, George Foreman, November the 5th, 1994. This guy is incredible. And I'm telling you, this man that they call Spencer the Knowledge Fearon, I just spent minutes going through my box rec to make sure the date was correct. He said it. November 1994, the one and only Spencer, the Spirit, the Master Knowledge. Again, my friend. He's my friend first. I just want everyone to know that. I claim him. As we say in Nigeria, I claim him. Big up Spenny. Big up Spenny. Spenny ranking.
Alexander, big up yourself.
Yes, sir. Being from DC, K. Koroma get no love as a trainer. I haven't heard of K. Koroma.
You know what? I'll be lying if I said I've heard of him. I haven't. Give me some rundown. Please.
Yeah, Alexander. But we're bigging him up anyway. Big up K. Koroma. You're getting a mention. But I don't really know. I haven't heard too much about him. He might be one of them guys who are in there, but he's in the background. It might be that one of them ones. Yeah. So so we've had the 8 names. I think in about the next 15 minutes, I want you to give me your top 5 in your opinion, Spence, and I'll give you my top 5. But for now, let's just read comments from people. Uzi Zan Tunde deserves a mention. Don't worry about me. I'm not there yet. But I'm gonna be around for a little while. Don't worry about that. As Joe Gallagher said, people think I just came up, but it was me that was instrumental in and training Kevin Mitchell when he won the Young Boxer of the Year many years ago. He was there with Say again?
How many fights you have with Kevin Mitchell?
I think it was about, in total, I was there from the beginning. I think it was about his 16th or 17th fight when he left.
Sorry, did Kevin Mitchell lose a fight with you?
Say again?
Did Kevin Mitchell lose a fight with you?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyway,
no, sir.
Right, look, Alexander Wilson, you are the guy, you know. He trains.
Okay.
You know what? I should have rang Golden Junior Boy, Golden Junior.
Junior Golden Boy.
Junior Golden Boy. I should have rang him, because he's the guy. Respect for the $5 donation again.
Ken Comer said he changed your career.
If it was
Jared Hutt.
Listen. He's a good trainer. I know the brother you're talking about. He's a very good trainer. Very good trainer. You know what? And you're only as good as your fighters. But Gerald Hurt, nobody thought Gerald Hurt was going to do anything. But he did.
I mean, you know what? He looked so big. But when we was in LA on the undercard of Fury Wilder 1, we didn't end up fighting, but we were scheduled to fight, myself and Anthony Yard and me in the corner. I remember thinking that he don't look that, that TV makes you look so much bigger. But Jarrett Hurd is a good fighter. He's a good fighter, and I think he lost against was it the Charlos he lost against? Jarrett Hurd.
No. I've forgotten the guy's name, man. No, it wasn't Charlo that he lost to.
But he's a good fighter. Jarrett Hurd is a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
Very, very good fighter.
And yeah, so we didn't mean to forget K. Koroma, but he's definitely getting a big up right now. Anyway, so
he trained. Sorry you're late. Or sorry I'm late. I ain't missed your top 5 trainers. No, you ain't missed them. We've gone through the rundown of the trainers, and now we're gonna give our top 5.
All right. Right. Spenny ranking. Who wants to go first? Me or you?
You can go first this time.
All right. My top 5 is this. Number 1, Derrick James. Ring Magazine 2017 Trainer of the Year. Current trainer of Errol Spence and Jamal Ironman Charlo. Number 2 is Eddie Reynoso. Trainer of number 1 pound for pound fighter at the moment, Canelo Alvarez. Trainer of Oscar Valdez. Trainer of Ryan Garcia. Trainer of Andy Ruiz. So that's my number 2, Eddie Reynoso. My number 3 is Joe Gallagher.
Okay.
I said it. I'm saying it again. My number 3 is Joe Gallagher. Why? Because he's from the UK, so that influenced me a little bit. But two, just because the people that you're around every day are supposed to have the most influence on you. Otherwise, the people that you're admiring are always away from you. So it's good to look at them, but when you're next to somebody that's actually done it, you have to respect that, and you can learn from that. You can take on the energy. So and not only that, as I said, I think Joe has got to be, if not the first UK trainer to get Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. I don't know. Do you know anyone else?
Yes, I do.
Come on, the knowledge.
The first man who I know who became Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year, 2008, it was Enzo Kawasaki.
Enzo. Okay. Yeah. How can I forget that? Yeah. So big up Enzo. But Joe's up there as well. So maybe Joe's the second.
Yeah.
Joe's the second. So that's an achievement in itself. And God rest his soul, Enzo Kawasaki. We ain't forgot about him. Honorable mention to Enzo Kawasaki. And yeah, number 3 is just Joe. I just love the guy's passion, the guy's desire, his drive, his motivation, his will to not give up. And based on that, he's definitely on my top 5. Number 4, I'm going to say Freddie Roach.
Okay.
And Freddie Roach can actually be placed higher.
I'm looking at this. Tunde, you see my paper? Have you see my paper? I'm looking at it. It's very similar. Go on.
Right. Freddie Roach is my number 4 because, again, he's trained one of the greatest fighters that's going to go down ever as a legend, as a champion for what he's achieved, moving from flyweight all the way up to, I don't even know, to the waterweight. You know, I think 154 is a bit too much for Manny, but you know, definitely from fly.
He's won a world title at 154.
Against who?
Against Margarito.
Was that a 154?
Yeah.
You sure?
Was it?
Oh wow. Okay. Well, again, he was instrumental in that. You know, trained Mike Tyson, James Toney, so many champions, and although he's not hot right now, he's still current. Still plugging away, and many fighters still go to the wildcard gym to teeth out the energies. You get what I'm saying? So Freddie Roach is definitely there, and he's my number 4. Now, number 5 is it's a tricky one for me because obviously we still got Mark Tibbs, Robert Garcia, and Dominic Ingle. I'm gonna throw my hat in this thing. And I'm going to say Dominic Ingle, number 5. Okay. So I've got 2 British man in there. So don't say I'm not.
Free, man. Is it
free? Oh, no. Eddie? No.
Right there.
No.
One. James, Eddie Reynoso, Joe Gallagher, Freddie Roach, and Dom Ingle.
Oh, yeah. So 2. So 2.
Yeah, and that is Baba Tunde Ajayi's ranking of the best trainers in the world. Now,
top trainers,
best trainers.
yes, right? The best trainer is me.
Right. Now, this is my ranking is going to be a little different because I like to mix it up from what you've just given me now. So yes. I'm going to say number 1 trainer in my mind.
Sorry, Spence, sorry to cut you. Billy Knight, Brendan Ingle's no longer with us, bro. So he can't go on the list. This is current trainers.
Current trainers. But Billy Knight, because Billy Knight just contacted me earlier, so we spoke. So big up Billy Knight.
Big up Billy Knight.
Yeah, big him up. So
when you're looking at Dominic, you're looking at Brendan, so he's on the list.
100%. And the apple never falls far from the tree.
There you go.
Right.
Hold on, Spence. Sorry. Listen, we never put him on the list, but we've got to big up Robert McCracken.
You know what?
Come on.
I'm going to tell you this now, yeah? Robert McCracken's in my top 5, you know? Son?
He's a what?
Robert McCracken, even though we never had him on the list, Robert McCracken's in my top 5.
100%.
Robert McCracken's in my top 5, right? I'm just telling you now. Now,
100%.
Placing is subjective, but I'm going to tell you why he's in my top 5. I remember working with Robert day in, day out at a Real Fight Club where I I was a shareholder in the gymnasium with Alan Lacey, and Robert used to train all of these boys from Mick Hennessy's boys.
Yeah, Lee Meager and them man there.
All of them man there. So I used to be up close and I see Robert. But what Robert has done in boxing, he's very incremental. The simple fact of the GB setup, the fact that they've used that as a conveyor belt for superstars. What he done with Carl Froch, I like the corner work that he did with Carl Froch. I remember going into one of the biggest predictions I did was when Carl Froch fought Jermaine Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Jermaine Taylor winning that fight, he stops him in the last round. And I said my prediction was, and I'm gonna try to find it as well. I'm gonna try to find that prediction as well. I did it for Santa Sports when I was working for Santa, and I said that Carl Froch maybe last round stoppage, and that's what he did. But I remember how Robert McCracken kept it very, very simple. He said, look, he said, come on now, Carl. You know what I mean? Don't punch when he's punching, because when you set him up, don't load up with a shot. Because when you load up with a shot, that's when he starts firing at you. And Carl just went out there, jab, over and right, clap him, just pummeled him. Incredible win. Rob McCracken has been incremental for boxing in the UK for the simple fact that the resurgence of how boxing has turned around in the UK, and how at one point of time, if we went back to 2015, we had 12 world champions. A lot of those world champions came out of the system that was put in place by when when Robert McCracken had the success with the Olympic team in 2012, and how many champions that came out of there and gold medalists that came out of there. And no one can't tell me that Anthony Joshua didn't revive British boxing. He revived.
Oh yeah, I said that from 2012.
Right. I revived it off of the bat, because remember when Sky said they're done with the pay-per-view, the person that brought that pay-per-view was Carl Froch.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who was Carl Froch's trainer manager?
And do you know why? Do you know why we haven't put Robert? Why Robert will be overlooked? It's because the guy, he don't want all the media hype up.
He's not in it. He's
not in it.
But
I don't even think he's got a social page.
Yeah.
I don't think Robert McCracken got a social page.
Yeah.
And that's how he wants to go about his business.
He's humble
guy.
Yeah, I spoke to him. Was it last week? I spoke to him. So yes, I've got time of day for Rob McCracken. So therefore, I'm saying to my list that I would have to put Rob McCracken in there.
Okay, well, come on, let your thing go. What's my
one is Eddie Reynoso, number 1. Number 2, Derrick James. Right?
Yes.
Number 3, Robert McCracken.
All right, cool. Say that even though he wasn't on the picture board, but
cool. All right, it's cool. You know what I mean? We can't really get pictures. He don't really take pictures.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true. We have to have one when remember probably when he fought. Remember when he fought Howard Eastman, but he was done them times there.
He was done. Howard bracket.
Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah.
Right. What I go to? I went to number 3. Number 4. Yeah. Number 4, Joe Gallagher. Number 5, Freddie Roach. That's my.
Come on. Love that. And listen, most of our donations today have come from America. But let me just say this. There are so many trainers today that could be on this list. This is what made this particular talk so intriguing, because it's so subjective. I mean, I've seen names that, again, they Bo Mack, Bo Mack, even Nacho Bernstein. We didn't even chat about Nacho.
Yeah, exactly.
And we didn't even chat about Nacho.
Yeah, and Nacho has trained everybody.
And he's the Don. He's the Don of Mexico.
He's a Don. He's a Don. But
we're
dealing with current right now.
Exactly.
Right now. And the simple fact is this, right? And I'll keep it at 100. It's all right for us to be looking across the pond, right?
Yes, come on, Spence. Touch it.
All right, and that's what we usually do. We look across the pond But I'm saying America doesn't have a heavyweight champion, world champion.
Come on, come
Right?
on,
Right?
come on, Spence.
America
Talk
doesn't
on it.
So if Anthony Joshua is ranked arguably number 1 or 2 heavyweight in the whole world and
Yes.
is a unified champion, who did he do that with?
Come on, it was a British trainer.
Right, exactly. So therefore, the brownie points has to go. And also, the next thing what I like about Robert McCracken, I want Robert to listen to this. I like the fact that Robert McCracken is willing, and I repeat, is willing to say, I've got this commodity in Anthony Joshua, but he's willing to bring in other guys to go do work with him because he's saying, I can't do everything. So he's brought in other guys that have helped cultivate Anthony Joshua. We've seen a change in, and I respect that. You know what I mean? It's maybe not everyone's cup of tea, but I respect the fact that he's gone out and he's done that and they're sat down. Because remember, when Anthony Joshua came up second best against Andy Ruiz, the talk was get rid of Robert McCracken. I remember doing the IFL.
Imagine.
Right, I remember doing the IFL interviews. They no, never get rid of Robert McCracken, but add to your game. Right? I'm just being real. There's other guys out in the world right now who haven't got a mention, but they got a mention in my heart. Guys, and Virgil Hunter.
Yeah, right? Virgil Hunter. Wait, Virgil Hunter, Tafio Lopez's dad.
Yep.
They come up from the scratch.
Yep.
And he decoded the Matrix.
He sure did. He sure did.
So
he glitch in the Matrix.
He glitched up the Matrix. So big up Tiafimo's dad. And you know, you was telling me about the story about his dad and what his dad overcoming drugs and things like that. Is that right, Spence? I mean, I'm not too...
You got to respect the man. You got the world, man.
You know, and again, the list goes on and on. We could talk about Bill Haney, Devin Haney's dad. What they've come through with the job that he's done. You know, made Devin a very wealthy young man. You know, set up their own company. There's so many. You know, we just chose a few today to pick by, but Spencer's already mashed up the thing and put Robert McCracken in there when he wasn't even on the list. But but it's deserved.
Yeah, well, listen, it's our show. We can do what we want.
Of course. Signature, right? What? You putting more money? Or it's the same money?
Yourself, man. Would Customer do? Yes, he would do a good job now because more than anything, let me tell you this: more than anything, right? Customer was a psychologist.
Yes, and there was a question. I saw it. The guy asked, the guy asked, what something like, do you think these great trainers were also good psychologists, if I can remember rightly? Yeah. And that's what it is. Yeah, Angelo Dundee. What was Angelo Dundee, Spence?
It was incredible. You know what he was? He was a hype man.
Yes. On
another level. And yes, he was something, but he was a very, very good hype man. Because Angelo Dundee, when Ray Leonard was getting ready to fight it was Dave Jacob, yeah, who did most of the work with Sugar Ray Leonard, right? It wasn't Angelo Dundee. The date you could see, what was it? April 6th or April 7th? April 7th, 1987. Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. In the round 5, Hagler started to get his range and started to batter Leonard on the ropes. And he sits down and Dave Jacobs and Yanks Morton were the guys that worked with him. Dave Jacobs was a bald-headed, quite portly guy. He sat there and goes, "Don't let him try you into a punching bag, Ray." And Angelo Dundee's in the ring. He goes, quiet, like, shut up now, my turn to talk. Come on, Ray. You got to be quicker. You got to be slicker. You know what I mean? And that's it. But Angelo Dundee wasn't the guy that did all of the groundwork with Sugar Ray Leonard. You know what I mean? It was Yank and it was Dave Jacobs that did all of the work from Ray Leonard was an amateur. Go read his book, The Big Fight, and you'll know about this thing. But what I'm trying to say is this, the Sugar Leonard autobiography, but he was the man that did it. So when you look at these things, there's a team. There's a team of men, and certain of the guys don't get the props.
Yes.
What did they do? Just like we've got big ads. He's been working meticulously hard with the stamina and the other young fighters that are coming through. What Tunde's got. So it's a team. So it's just that the face of the team, right, is Tunde Ajayi. But these young men, they make up the face itself. You know what I mean? So they could be the ears, they could be the hair follicles, they could be the arms, wherever they are, but they make up the whole thing to create the body. And the body's standing for still, just like this right now, as the fight is right. It's not just Spencer Fearon's show, it's not just Bobby Tunde's show, it's also Gary Blake, our producer who's like the producer, because he's got so many different things coming out of his head. He keeps on doing about that. It's about honoring those things. So that's my rant anyway.
So big up Alexander Wilson. So you had, let me get this right, if I can remember rightly. Reynoso 1, Derrick James 2. Did he say Robert McCracken 3? No. Yeah, Robert McCracken 3. Joe Gallagher 4, and Freddie Roach 5. And that is you can't really argue with that list. Great. And I hear people talking about Lou Duva. I remember Lou. Bro, he was one of the men that used to give me joke when I used to be studying boxing, when I was still studying boxing. But I always used to look at this little short brother jumping in the ring and violently fighting. Bro, he was a passionate guy.
Lou Duva went to smash Lloyd Hannigan in 1987 when Lloyd Hannigan fought Johnny Bumpers. Johnny Bumpers was a former WBA welterweight champion. He moved up in weight. And Lloyd Hannigan dropped Johnny Bumpers with a straight right hand through the middle for the guard. Johnny Bumpers is a southpaw. He gets up, he goes back to the corner, right? While just before the bell goes, Lloyd Hannigan runs from his corner, and the bell goes. The man don't get off the stool properly. He punches him in the head. And Lou was ballistic. I mean,
yeah, Lou was a G.
I also remember when Lou Duva was working with Vinny Pazienza in the WBC welterweight fight, and that was November 1988, and he fights, and some kerfuffle happens, and Roger Mayweather punches Lou Duva in his head.
And why you say that? How can we not fling Roger in there? But I know the situation. But Roger's getting an honorable mention. Yeah, that's how we're gonna do it
because Roger trained one of the greatest fighters of all time
ever.
So
ever.
Of course.
He's there. He's there.
Why not big up their trainer?
Absolutely.
You know
Absolutely. I saw something from Dave Coldwell, another British guy. We got to give him the mentions. Been in there. Again, people forget that he was there when Rhodes fought Canelo, a young Canelo.
Yep.
Bro, Dave he's done his thing. Like he's still young in the game as far as I'm concerned. He's passionate. He's got a group of young fighters. He's doing his thing, and he's been around. And again, Dave Calder wasn't on the list, but he's on our list, me and Spencer's list, because he's a good guy, and he's part of the new school. Who's going to be around when a lot of these older trainers go. So big up Dave Coldwell. He's in there as well. The signature is putting a £1.99, and he's saying the next show, best fights of all time, and 2020. Or maybe 20, best fights of all time and 2020. That's a good shout signature. We'll see what's happening with that. Sorry, I saw this. Hold on. Ring IQ TV, £2. Sorry, let me talk properly. $2. Sorry, £2 sterling. Ring IQ TV says, should Mark Breland have got the boot, Spencer?
Yes.
Oh, I said that again?
Yes, he should have.
Boot where? Boot? Why should he have got the boot?
He should have got the boot.
Explain yourself, sir.
I don't need to explain myself. He said, should he got the boot? Yes, because energy goes where it flows. And what I'm trying to say is this. Yes, it was... right? Mark Breland is a very nice man, right?
Yes.
But I think he's too nice to be a trainer. And
okay, that's interesting.
You need to be a disciplinarian. And what we saw with the kerfuffle that happened with Wilder. Wilder's coming around and blaming you, saying like, "Yep, you spiked."
I would have pushed up in his face straight away.
And Mark Breland's taking the higher ground, you know, as Michelle Obama famously said, "When they go low, we go high." And he said, but that's always been Mark's character. He's always been this gentle, softly guy. For one of America's greatest amateur champions. Greatest. One of the greatest. He was ridiculous. You know what I mean? From winning the 84 Olympic gold medal at welterweight. But I'm saying, should he got a boot? Yes, he should have. But the simple thing is that he put himself in that to get the boot. So therefore, he should have got the boot. I think it was disgusting how they treated him. I told you, famously, they went viral and everyone picked it up. He was outside the changing room crying. You know what I mean? Imagine. Right. They didn't want to let him in. And they were blaming him from the. He was like,
but I would have flag kicked the door.
Yeah, come on, man. You think
I would have flag kicked the door.
So because, this is what I'm trying to say to you, because you showed that energy of weakness, that you should have got.
Yes, because you allow people to walk over you.
Right, exactly. There's an old saying in Jamaica that "Dopping all to friend, a ghost knows who to friend, a ghost knows who to play with," you know. So therefore, he put himself in that position. But on the reels, it was wrong because I rate Mark as a trainer. But what I am saying is this: if a man turned around and said that you poisoned his water, right, and now you ain't saying nothing about it. You're making.
That's what I'm trying to say. Silence is good. Don't get me wrong. Silence is good, and the law of non-resistance is a universal law.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta just say, you know what, forget about all of that. I don't care about no laws. Don't disrespect me like that. When I know I haven't done something, like you ain't doing that to me,
right?
You know, and
exactly. And I'm saying, like, when someone does something, then it's like being non-responsive, right? But there's certain times where you're not responding, but you're replying.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to say is that Ben Davison and Peter Fury.
Good show as always.
No, Ben Davis is not in there for me. Bro, you laughing for? I like him a lot, but he's not in there.
You can't just come up in this thing like that. It don't work like that. That's why, me personally, that's why I said no. I'm not even nowhere on this list. I'm gonna be there because of my work ethic, and you reap what you sow. But I can't disrespect these guys. I mean, look, even people like Buddy McGurk ain't even got a mention on this thing.
Buddy's a bad boy trainer.
Buddy McGurk, you know, he trained a man to knock out the great Roy Jones.
Yep.
That's a top guy.
Yeah,
you know,
horribly.
John Davis Jackson.
Yeah,
wait there. G James, gone. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Shout out to the dads who trained their sons: Lopez, Senior, Billy Porter, Angel Garcia,
Papachenko,
you know,
and Mayweather.
Yeah, you know, and thanks for your $9.99 donation.
Come on.
I mean, it's like people are sleeping on us today on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Come on. Papachenko. So much. Roy Jones Jr., his father trained him. Shane Mosley, his father trained him. Many. So yeah, you know, there's, as I said, John Davis Jackson. We ain't even mentioned him. So how can you know, as Spencer said, we can't just put up Ben Davison like that. He ain't proved nothing yet.
Yeah, he ain't proved. Yeah, I mean, that's disrespect.
That's disrespect.
Ben Davison, that's a disrespect. Because listen, Ben Davison ain't a better trainer than Dave Cool right now. He ain't got Dave Cool's resume. You know what I mean? Since we're talking about trainers and that, right? Ben Davison can't talk to Adam Booth. Right? Let's just keep it 100. So it'd be wrong for me to, yes, I think potentially he's going to be a fantastic trainer. But right? I ain't seen the body of work, and I haven't seen, like, you take a man from nothing, like build up a youth and go through that. You ain't done that yet. So that's not me dissing you, because Ben's my guy still. And I respect what he's doing with Josh Taylor. Right? But yet again, you've been given a commodity that has been doing things. And by the time that you got your hands on him, he was already a world champion. Right? So before we call Ben, I have to call the man before him, respect to the knowledge and love for boxing. Peace to you both.
Peace, bro.
Right?
Yes, sir. Big up Rich Snook.
Right. So I'm saying that will be wrong, and it would be a great injustice for me to call Ben Davis's name, but not call Shane McGuigan's name. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Right. And that's the truth. So that's how I see that. And like from a long time, I was saying I think Shane's gonna be a great trainer. When I used to be at Sky, I used to say this regularly. I think Shane's gonna be a great trainer, right? But it's experience. And if you watch the second Leo Santa Cruz Carl Frampton, right? No disrespect, but his analysis of the fight and the instruction that he gave, and there was panic in it. But I'm not taking that from away from you because you're young, right? It is what it is. But I'm just being 100 in it, and that's how I have to be. I've got to be that guy.
Yeah, really. Ben's up there, young, future. He's going to be one of the names that's going to be spoken about in the future, absolutely. But to put him, myself, you got to put guys that have been there like Dave Coldwell up there if you're going to put us up there because, they've walked the path before us and they've done it. They've been in massive fights and they've been around. They've paid their dues. So no disrespect to Ben. I'm one of Ben's big fans.
Uzi Zan says Darren Barker. I'm saying, what Darren? No. As a fighter.
Say that again?
Uzi Zan says Darren Barker.
How?
And I'm saying, exactly. Darren Barker's trained one fighter. Yeah? And when the guy thought he lost, right, in Dave Allen. I'm not knocking Darren Barker because Darren Barker as a fighter, wicked fighter.
Yes, sir.
Wicked fighter. You know what I mean?
Good
wicked fighter and a guy that often fought grotesquely injured, So props to Darren.
Even though he dissed me, even though he tried to come at me, but same thing about me. I don't business if you come at me. I'm just judging you for what I see. So I don't fall into that trap where you start jumping on a bandwagon and disrespecting me. Me, Dan Barker, done very well as a professional, was a world champion. And yeah, but you can't, when they're talking about trainers, don't put Darren Barker in there because that's disrespect. That's disrespect. There's so many guys. And again, Peter Fury. We haven't even touched on Peter Fury. He should be up there.
He's a world champion right now.
Exactly. He's got Savannah as a world champion. So Peter Fury.
Savannah will give that work to Clarissa Shields, Clarissa Shields better be on a top 8.
I said that because I like Savannah. She can fight.
She's MTK Global as well. Big her up.
All right. But money talks, Spence. You know the set. Right, Alexander Wilson, or what they done say, money talks. No. BS talks, money buys asses. Steve Bunce.
Go on.
Sorry. Alexander Wilson said, Steve Bunce said he saw this guy KO a reporter in Mexico who wrote a negative article about him, but he's a heck of a trainer. Joe Goosen. I said it, Joe Goosen. Joe Goosen's a serious guy. He used to come with the little colourful shirts, like he was promoting Versace and them people there.
Yeah. I mean, Joe Goosen's a very good trainer.
Very.
Right? And the guy that busts Joe Goosen on the scene, to my recollection, right, was in 1988, Michael Nunn, when he stopped Frank Gold Tate to become IBF middleweight champion of the world. So I remember all of the Goosen, because they were called the Goosen clan then, right?
Yes.
So all of the Goosen brothers. And Goosen is a very, very good trainer.
One of them is involved with the PBC, I think,
Yeah, something to do with them.
Yeah, something of them's involved with the PBC, I know. So big up Alexander Wilson. Thank you for the contribution again. And yes, sir, Joe Goosen is a very, very good trainer and one that, again, could have well been on the list. Just because we put these names up there, we all know that but there's so many trainers. And as Eddie Mustafa Muhammad said to me, a good trainer has to put himself in the shoes of a fighter and bring the best out of a fighter. I never forget that when he said that to me in Las Vegas. So yeah, there's so many trainers. But let's carry on. I read something here from Will Stokes. It says, "Can you explain how some of the best trainers never box themselves? How is this possible? Like, if you don't know how to drive, how are you gonna teach someone to be great at driver?" Well, again, Will, I think I'll touch on this first before Spencer does. A lot of boxing, which I've said this from the very start, a lot of it is to do with your mind. The mind, you have mind first and then body. Mind is supposed to control body. It's not supposed to be the other way around. You know, sometimes subconscious it is that way. Most times it's that way, but it's a mental sport. You can be the most physically prepared, you know, train running this amount of miles and this amount of time, lifting up this amount. But if your head ain't right, your body ain't right. And that's why, in my opinion, why you have had a lot of trainers that have produced champions that have never boxed. But it doesn't mean they haven't been around boxing. Is that my dad is the best football analyzer, and he ain't never played football like that, but he will break down the scores and everything. So sometimes you have people in boxing, especially trainers, that know how to get in to the fighters' minds and get the best out of them. So I think that's how I see it. I don't know how Spencer sees it.
Yep. I'm in total agreement with you. And I mean that. I'm in total agreement with you.
Yes, sir.
I've just retweeted the thing on and liking on Twitter. So yeah.
Okay, I saw something from Sammy Ali. Tunde and Spencer, Manny Robles must be mentioned for how he helped Ruiz beat Joshua brutally. No, you didn't need to say that. He didn't beat Joshua brutally. He didn't say that, young man. Sammy, bro, you're getting cheeky. You know? I've been reading some of your comments, so you're getting bright. But I love it. He didn't beat AJ brutally. He beat him. He did him, and AJ come back and done the business. So, but yeah, you definitely big up Manny Robles. But didn't Ruiz get rid of him after? I'm sure he did. So again, I don't know what to make of that. Rav86 says, "What attributes make a good trainer? Very difficult job. Every trainer does a brilliant job, in my opinion. Has my respect." Rav, you couldn't have said it any clearer. It is, you know, all trainers deserve respect. It's something I've campaigned for from the day I came into the sport. One of the reasons why I got a big mouth, because I'm always like, you know, come on, man, cars don't run without petrol. You try drive your car with no petrol in it and see what happens. No matter how good the car is. So you got, as Spencer said, you got to credit the team and give everybody their dues. What attributes makes a good trainer? I believe the trainer has to want it as much as the fighter. Even more. Because when the fighter may be down, the trainer has to keep working, keep studying, so when that fighter does, you know, get back into it, he's there for him. So you know, Spencer saying even more, I definitely can relate to that. But I just think that every good trainer wants a great fighter or a good fighter to work just the way he wants him to. But that's got to come from the fighter as well. So it's a 50-50 thing. Spence?
Yeah, any more questions coming up here, Gary?
I saw one, Teddy Atlas. We didn't even big up Teddy. Great trainer.
You think so?
I believe so. Again, but he's more the psychological.
I think he's more of a psychologist. And you know why? Who was his teacher? Customado. So I think he's more of a, you know what I mean? I think that he's more of an analyst and a psychologist. When, you know what I mean? I also like listening to his podcast. Got a podcast out there. I like listening to it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, sir.
You know, Kevin Cunningham, Alexander Wilson saying, yep, he's a very good trainer too. But whereas Tunde has touched on a couple of American guys who threw them in the hat as well. So I thought, right, the guys, in my mind, in the UK that are doing their bits as well, I got a whole of those guys. And also, it's like certain fighters only train, certain trainers only train one fighter. You know what I mean? Then certain trainers, they reach a certain level and they become a hired gun. then certain trainers go out and they just create their own camper fires, and they've got them underneath in their stable. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is in boxing, and we could go on and on and on about who should be this or who should be that. But I'm promising every trainer because I've been a trainer, and it's not easy. It's hard work. So I props every trainer. I think the trainers don't rightly get the props that they deserve.
Unless they're on The Fight Is Right, because I don't see no one doing this.
Yep, exactly. You know what I mean? So I've got to big up everybody for all the donations and everything else. What do you think our next topic should be? In fact, before we do that, let's run down Tunde's top 5 trainers. I'll scream them out. Gary, thank you very much. Tunde's trainer ranking is number 1, Derrick James. Number 2, Eddie Reynoso. Number 3, Joe Gallagher. Number 4, Freddie Roach. And number 5, from the still sitting himself, Dominic Ingle. Thank you very much. Roll my ones up now so Tunde can read them out.
Spencer, the master knowledge, the spirit, ripped onto me. Fearon, top 5 trainer ranking, current trainer ranking, is number 1, the trainer of Canelo Alvarez, Oscar Valdez, Ryan Garcia, Andy Ruiz, and that is Eddie Reynoso. Number 2, the trainer of Errol, the Truth. What's his surname? I forgot. It slipped me.
You're a joker.
I just call you Errol the Truth. Not really. Errol the Truth Spence and Jamal Ironman Charlo. Number 3, the trainer, current trainer of the heavyweight champion of the world, which is Anthony Joshua, Robert McCracken. Number 4, the trainer of so many. You heard that breakdown Mr. Gallagher gave when he was on just incredible resume from amateur right through. You know, Joe Gallagher's number 4, and Spencer Fearon's on the list, number 5, the trainer of the Pac-Man, the governor. I don't know what I don't know where it is in the Philippines, but he's the governor, and that's the one and only Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. That's number 5. So that's Spencer's top 5: Reynoso, James, McCracken, Gallagher, and Roach. And there you have it. There you have it. It's this thing. We've got 3 minutes, Spence. Yeah. Let's touch it. What's
topics? Someone was saying top 5 promoters. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
By Sharon Rashid.
Stabel says, yeah, it goes up there. Next fight is right. Top 5 fights you'd like to see in 2021. That's a good one. That's
a good topic.
I like that one. I like that one. What else is coming up?
Top 5 robberies. That's a good. I know you would know about that, Spence. The robbery but it's subjective.
Yeah, exactly. Top 5 robberies. We could touch on that, but you know, that's more historical. We're going to try and keep it up to date as well. So we don't talk about boxing. 100% Uzi. Naz A, top 5 biggest upsets. That's really good. I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that one. What else we frying up here now, Gary? Best British super middleweight of all time. That is wicked. That's a really good one, Bobby.
Yeah,
of course it is, because remember it's subjective, and that's a very hard one.
You know? X Dawson X says next fight is right. Get me on the thing. Get me on the set. You're American, right, brother? Because I read a comment from you which said your trainer fought Sugar Ray Leonard. I think I read that in the comments. I think that slipped my eye, but yeah, big up Dawson. Best resumes, but again, best resumes of what though? You understand? Fighter resumes, trainer resumes. It's kind of like a.
Right, Sammy's got a good one there. Top 5 refs in boxing.
That is a good one. That's a good one. You know the black brother with the the big eyes. You see my eyes, friends? That black brother's serious, you know. When he's reffing, he's in there. He's in there fighting. But that guy, I forgot that guy's name, but he's funny.
People are asking amateur boxing, how to be successful for those of us entering into the game or those of us already in it. Amateur boxing, come on.
Signature, baby, was cracking up.
Talking about Eileen Lever. Steve Willis is the trainer, right?
Alexander Wilson says top 5 Southpaws all time. Very good.
Really good. That's really good. Right. I know who my number 1 would be. Top Southpaw of all time.
You're gonna say Sweet Pea?
No, Marvin Hagler. Anyway.
Oh, come on. We're talking.
That would be number 1. And yeah, I could give you my 3 top Southpaws right now. You mean my 3 top?
No, man, you're gonna mess up the show, man.
Shut up, man. All right.
All right, go on then.
No, it's all right.
You see, you don't know that's a show. Because Southpaws, obviously, there's so much. Winky Rat was a serious Southpaws where he just tuck it and just clap you in.
Bro, I remember when Winky Rat came over here defending his WBO middleweight crown against Adrian Dodson.
Oh, come on, Spence.
London Arena, December 19th, 1997.
How? I'm checking it.
All right, go on.
I'm checking it. Don't worry. Let me do Adrian Dodson. Dodson, innit?
Dodson, yeah.
Dodson. Adrian Dodson. Adrian Carew.
Yep. Same guy.
Is that Carly Cruz people? Was that
his son? His stepson, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He changed his name to Dodson, yeah.
What date did you say?
I think it was the 19th of December. 19th of December 1997. I think that fight was at London.
I'm done with you. Me and you done, man. I can't work with you. Bro, your knowledge. The walking box wreck. Listen, we're supposed to be getting donations just because of this knowledge. Just because of the knowledge. The man got it right to the date. The date. I bet you even know the time of the ring walk to Rated. But yes, man.
I was that. You know, because I've been watching that fight on Sky. So and then they went from there and they went to Nassim Hamed in America versus Kevin Kelly.
Excellent. Alexander Wilson again. Dan Birmingham. Yeah, that was Winky's trainer.
Yeah, Dan Birmingham was Winky's trainer, but Dan Birmingham also worked with Jeff Lacey.
I was just about to say that.
Up by
Dan Birmingham could have helped Jeff Lacey. He got mashed up by Joe. But listen,
I was just reading. I was just reading one of my old ones. I went to see my mum, and I was just reading one of the old boxing newses. And Claude Abraham actually had Jeff Lacey to win that fight. Like so many had Jeff Lacey to win that fight.
Yeah, because he was a monster. He was doing bits.
You know what I mean? And Jeff Lacey got Brock up to.
Vicious.
He got Brock
vicious.
Up.
Vicious.
That wasn't no easy Brock up. That was a horrid beating.
Best defensive fighters currently. That's a good sub. I don't feel enough that's a show because defense based. But I would say Canelo right now.
Yeah, but no, let me big up Ring IQ TV as well. They got a nice little channel up on YouTube. So big up them, always supporting.
Always been supporting us.
Yeah.
Always. All right, Spence. Listen, this has been a fantastic show. And yeah, I think while there isn't boxing per se, I think we should still keep this platform the way we're going it, where we're putting out the shows to the people.
1,000,000%, because Yeah, man. It's me. We talking the shows is also keeping my mind working.
Yes, yes.
Because you know, we go if you don't use it, you lose it. So yeah, Uzi Tan says best boxing books. Right. Well, number one boxing book for me, I tell you this, that Uzi is.
I know what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say? Dark Trade by Don McCrae. That's the best book. Tell you that.
Was it? Dark Trade. Yeah, that is a good book. I thought he was gonna say Unforgivable Blackness.
No, that's a wicked book though. I'll tell you. Yeah, that is a very, very good book. But yeah, it is what it is. What else we got? Signature King. What's he say?
Tuesday. Yep, that's the next one.
That's the next one. Tuesday. Get ready. Tuesday, 8 o'clock. People.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll hear the Master Genius Baba Tunde Ajayi with Master Knowledge Spencer Fearon doing what we do best and talking the thing, keeping it positive, irrespective where other people may try to drag you down.
There you go.
But when they go low, we go high.
There you go. And on that note, let's just say this has been a wonderful show. It's been a wonderful show. It's keep me going, and I feel I hope that those currently in lockdown, I know it's a bit different in America, but us here in the UK are locked down. And what I've been doing personally is picking up the phone book and phoning people that I wouldn't, you know, sometimes you get comfortable with people, and sometimes people can be going through things on a quiet. So really just picking up the phone and just saying what's going on, how you doing, how's the family. I think we should all do that in this time, you know, and the fact that we are giving you content in this time, I think is something that I'm proud of, Spence. And I just want to keep on pushing out, going above and beyond. And but it's always a pleasure to listen to you. You just spit out the knowledge anyway. For me, I can do that. I can listen to you for hours, and I have been for so many years. So I'm gonna sign off by saying, Uzi Zan said we need the knowledge of Baba Tunde daily, fam. You get what I'm saying? But I will end the show by saying, dream it. Hold on. Dream it, believe it, become it.
Come on down. Thank you for joining the show. See you all 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Peace, two fingers. We're out.
We're out.